kitchen tonight, and I am just going to take you along. I'm doing a little cooking here in the kitchen, and I was laughing earlier that as soon as I hit that live button, that the phone was going to ring. And of course, it's doing just that. So we're going to let it ring. The big guy, I have to take care of that. And we're going to play around right here in the kitchen. On Saturday in the kitchen, I was just a little bit under the weather, and I had great plans for what we were going to prepare. But you know what? It just didn't work out, and I got as much done as I could, and then we had to go on with the rest of the day. And plus, it was Easter weekend, so you had family and you had things that you were doing. So I hope you had a blessed and wonderful holiday. And today we're going to get busy. Now, tonight I'm going to prepare spatchcock chicken that we're going to put together. You can see him here. He's here. He's a nice little hen that we're going to work on. We're also going to talk about, let's see if you can see that. If I can turn you, you'll see these 3 containers. And this is the first time I've used YouTube Live, and so there may be some things that I'm learning along the way. Hello. Now, I have 3 containers of broth that I made overnight. Now, what's so much fun about this broth was that yesterday for Easter, we had turkey. And you know, we got all the meat we thought off that turkey, and the only thing was left was the carcass. So I brought the carcass home, threw it into the crock pot, added in some vegetables that I had in the freezer, and then I was able to, this morning, get up to a full container of turkey broth, which you know, you can use that turkey. I didn't add any salt, and so we can use this turkey broth for so many things. But for right now, what I'm going to do is to actually, since it's in the containers, I'm going to give it time to sit. I will probably put it into the refrigerator long enough for the fats to solidify. And once it happens, I'm going to take the fat off, and I can actually save the turkey fat and use that in my cooking. And the broth will actually be able to go into the freezer, and I can use it at a later date. But what was so amazing, here we thought we got all of the turkey off the carcass, but I still had a full container of little turkey pieces. So you know what's coming. There's going to be some turkey salad that's going to be made this week. So I'm going to be putting this turkey away. This is the last of the carcass. I have just about picked all the pickings that I can get. So I'm going to now just take it and put it into our trash receptacle, and it's ready to go. Now, for dinner tonight, we're going to have lima beans with corn and a little bit of ham, because we also had ham yesterday. And I took the pieces, I took the bone, I cut off as much meat as I possibly could, and I have just a few little pieces of ham that are in this container, and I saved those because I knew I was going to prepare these lima beans. And lima beans are delicious if you don't mind putting ham in. Of course, they're good anytime. You can just do a little butter and go with it, but we're going to fix the old-fashioned lima beans and corn, and we're also going to work on the stovetop initially with our chicken. And we're going to do it right here in front of you. Now, this is the first time that I've done this using YouTube Live, and so we're going to first work on taking this chicken apart. So I'm going to take you over here with me. I might have to make a few adjustments. You can see I've got a sink full of water. You don't want to look at that, but you're going to want to see the actual chicken that we're going to work on. He's a little fella. He wasn't cheap, to say the least, but this is just a young chicken, a young hen is what they actually call him. So what we're going to do, I'm going to use my shears, and I'm going to take his back out. We're going to cut that back. And you can feel the back as you're working. And it takes a little bit of work, but once you get through that, I think I'm going to take him from the other direction. I have him laying on about 3 layers of paper towel just to keep any juices that may come out of it. Because I know we shouldn't do this. They say nowadays not to rinse them off, but I rinse my chicken off. Okay, so we've got that out. I'm almost at the top where I can see. Hopefully you can see. And I'm going to pick him up, go over here to the other side, see if he'll work a little more cooperatively. And this side was giving me a fit. Now, of course, you can use a knife, but I'm using scissors because that's pretty quick. And it saves the fingers in the long run. So there's our back. I'm going to take this back and put it into a Ziploc bag, and we will just save that for when we're making chicken broth. And backs make great chicken broth. So as you can see, our little chicken is opened up, and he's got some bones in there, but that's okay. He's got his wings. I'm going to check him for any extra pieces of fat that may be hanging on, and just kind of give that a clip. I'll put it over there with that chicken, and any little pieces we may see that we just want to take off, and we can certainly throw them away. Now, let me look at the other side, check it out. And if there's any excess fat, now fortunately with this little hen, it didn't have a lot of fat, but it does have quite a few little pieces of wings, those little feathers. And I'm going to take those little feathers off, get as many of them off as I can. And I think I've gotten just about all of them because I started before you got here. And just kind of starting to clean him up. So there he is. He's ready to go. And I'm going to try to lay him out as flat as possible. That's the way he's going to go into the skillet, flat. And we're going to let him cook flat. Now, before we do that, let me wash my hands. Okay, and well, I'm going to turn you around, get the skillet out. We'll get it nice and hot because we want to start this chicken before we start the vegetables. So I'm going to turn you this way. We'll be moving around a little bit because you're going to have to move around in the kitchen. That's fun, being able to be in somebody else's kitchen and play around. So let's see what I can do here and get you situated. And hopefully you won't feel sick, and raise you up just a bit so maybe I won't have to bend over. There we go. Now, so I'm going to pull out, actually I think I'm just going to use my cast iron skillet, and I'm placing it here so you can see it. And let's see if I can bring you up just a tad bit more and out so we get a good look. Okay. There we go. I think that's better. Now, so we've got this cast iron skillet, and I need it screaming hot. So I'm going to turn it up, and I'm going to let this get hot. Now, while that's getting hot, I'm also going to set up the pan that I'm going to cook our lima beans and corn in. And like I said, I'm going to work on that here. So I'm going to turn it on, get it nice and hot, because the first thing I'm going to put in there is our ham. Now we're going to want to cut some of this ham up. And I've got a little wooden paddle here. I'm going to put some of this ham down. I don't need a lot. I just need enough to give us a little ham flavor. And it's about the flavor. So I've got our board here. I'm going to try sitting it right there for the moment. It won't be there long. Cut this up. And see what I'm doing. And while everything's getting nice and hot, we're going to have a few little ham pieces. Just enough. If you don't like ham, you know, you do what you do in your kitchen. But we do. We do like ham. So I'm going to add these little pieces to our skillet. And you can maybe start to hear it sizzle just a little bit. And I may add just maybe another piece of ham. Well, actually, I might as well put the rest of it in. It's not that much left. So I'm going to give that a little chop and get that in. Okay. All right, that's good to go. So I'm going to throw that in. And you've certainly got options as to what you want to use. You could do this in straight olive oil. But you know, our moms, when they were cooking, they didn't throw away anything. So they made sure that whatever they took out, that they had multiple uses for it. And a ham bone never, ever went in the trash. Never. It went to the dogs when it was on its last leg. But your mom had gotten about 4 or 5 meals out of that ham bone. It goes from whatever, all the ham that was in there, they cooked all that off. And then they started to make some soup. And we may actually do a little bit of that, but it's not going to be today. So I'm letting our ham get nice and hot and toasty. And I'm going to add in just a little swizzle of olive oil, just to make sure that we have plenty of oil to do what we need to do. So I'm giving that a little shake. Now over here, my skillet's getting nice and hot. I like that. I've got some onions here that I'm going to add. I'm going to take the water off. I had put them in some water because it seemed like these particular onions were so strong. So I've added in about 1/4 of a cup of onions, and that's probably equivalent to about 1/2 of a small onion. So we've got that in. I'm going to add a mixture of celery, and I even added in I had a few little green onions. I thought, well, why not put them in also? So we've got celery. We're not wasting anything. We're making sure that we use everything we need right here in the kitchen. Now, I'm going to get a wooden spoon, and I'm going to start to kind of stir those around. Now, you notice, no salt is going to go into this because the ham at this point is probably going to carry most of the salty flavor. So we don't need to add any additional ham. I've got a little black pepper. I'm going to start off with about a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. And I may certainly add more as time goes by. And you know, in my house seasoning, I have black pepper in here as well. So I'm going to be careful with that. Let me get a spoon. And I'm going to put just a little bit, about a teaspoon of house seasoning in. And I'm putting it in at this point because we've got our fats in there. We have our little veggies in there. Our seasoning vegetables are in there. And I want them to all get happy with those seasonings. So we're going to let those simmer for just a minute before we ever add the limas and the corn. I like that combination. Now you may like limas just by themselves, or you may like to do them with straight butter, but this is the way I usually do it, and I'm okay with that. Now over here in the skillet, I'm going to start to add some olive oil. It is nice and hot. You can see how that oil is just moving around, just the way I want it. And I'm going to also add about a tablespoon of butter. The reason for the butter is that I want the meat to, I'm going to turn it down just a little for now. I want the meat to be able to brown, and so I'm adding in a little butter, may put a little more in. We want it to be good. Okay, that's going to be good. That's perfect. Now, I'm going to take my skillet and move it off just a second because I need to bring the chicken over. And I'm bringing it, kind of keeping it on a towel. The reason for that, I'm going to make room here. The reason for that is the fact that if there are any juices that want to run, they're going to run on the towel. Okay, so there we go. Now, I've got the chicken here. We've taken care of the butter, so I can cover that up. I'm going to take some of our house seasoning. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle house seasoning. Hope you can see this. Okay, I may have to bring you in closer, but we're going to sprinkle this all over that chicken. That's on one side. Let me bring you up a little closer. Okay, on one side. And I'm going to take my fingers and just rub, because I want all of that chicken to be well seasoned. Then I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to season the second side. About a teaspoon, because you know most of this seasoning is garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, all those good seasonings that you like. I don't put a lot of salt in my house seasoning. Okay, now I'm going to bring the skillet back. Fortunately, it's just right. And give this a little stir before we start to put it in. Put our chicken in. Okay, now the chicken is going to be the part that's going to take the longest to cook. So I'm going to take this spatchcock chicken, skin down. Already one piece decided, the leg got wild and decided he was going to flip over on his own. But we're going to put this little baby into this skillet. And I'm going to start it right here. And we're going to let it cook. And it's going to take a little bit for it to get to where we want it. But we want it to be nice and brown on the back side. And then we'll flip it over and put it on the other side. So let's start here. In the meantime, I'm going to get a piece of a Ziploc bag, and we're going to put this chicken, stick it back into the Ziploc bag. So I'm just washing my hands real quick, and let me see if I have a Ziploc bag close. No, I'm going to have to go get the Ziploc bag. Hold on. Okay, we got the Ziploc bag. We're going to stick that whole back in there. There he is. And this is going to go into the freezer so that we can make more chicken broth at a later time. I'm going to take all of this. It's going to go into hot soapy water, and we'll eventually, this towel is going to go into the washer, and we'll have everything all cleaned up. So while that's simmering right there, I'm going to bring you over and let's talk. Now, if you missed today's lunchtime, you missed a fun time. Denise and I had a ball. And I can tell you, as always, we always get on, and then we don't know how to get off. That's the problem. We say goodbye to you, and we let you go back to work, but then we talked for another hour. So it is always so much fun to have Denise on the show. But you know, today we had such a surprise because we had other YouTubers that are what I would consider very famous YouTubers. We had Kimberly Davis from A Blessed Home. We had Catherine on from Decorating Like a Pro. They were on with us today. And it was just a good time. We had Khadijah from Her Healthy Home. She was on as well. And you know, we are all in this together. We are trying to feed our families, trying to do it on a reasonable budget, if at all possible, with changing times and situations, our inflation, gas prices, whatever it may be. But you know, we can talk about it, talk about how to, you know, prepare things for our home. But if we don't show you what we're doing, then maybe we're not making the best effort. And so Denise and I are talking about how we're going to make some changes and be able to show you and young homemakers and those of us who are seasoned, we're going to start sharing what we know with you. And those things that we don't know, we might have to look up. But, you know, that's the way it goes. So, dishes, most of them are in the dishwasher. I'm going to bring you back over here. And let's see if I can get you back to where we were. I will leave you out. And so you can see both pans. So, let's, our ham and our vegetables are just right. So we're going to add, I'm going to add the lima beans. And I have this is about 4 cups of lima beans. I'm hoping all of these will fit in here. That's the plan anyway. And all of those will go in. I love limas. And these are frozen. I was fortunate enough to get them at a pretty good price. And some corn. Now sometimes our little ones will eat corn and they'll eat whatever's with the corn because they like the corn. And that's what I found in my house. And so while lima beans started out not being their favorite, but they love the corn. So seemingly green beans with corn, they like. Lima beans with corn, they like, because the corn was there. So I am putting that together because that's one of the big guy's favorites. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take just a little bit of this broth and I'm going to add it into our lima beans. Going to give it a good flavor. There we go. There's 1, 2. This is a 1/3 cup. I'm going to start it off with about a cup of broth. There's 1 cup of broth. And whatever kind of broth you like, that's what you use. Now, at my daughter's house, she uses more beef broth. I use more chicken broth. And just depends on what your hubby and the kids like. So we're going to give this a good stir. And I'm looking at this thinking we're going to need a little more broth. So I'm just going to pour it at this point. I want to be able to see just a little more because they do need to cook. All right, there we go. I don't know, we've got just enough broth to where you can start to see it. And I'm going to let this simmer right here on the stove. So I have this on a 4, so it's not too high, and you'll start to see it come up. All right, over here in the skillet, let me Give another spur. And I'm going to see how this chicken's going. Woo. Oh yeah, he's ready to turn over. Let's see if we can get him over without making a total mess here. I'm going to slide this under. I guess I should have used the longer one. Let me switch. I'm going to press, and I'm going to try to get him over. This leg is giving me a fit. Okay. That's it. That's what I want. And I'm just pressing it down. Pressing it down. So it will have good contact with the skillet. Now I have just a little bit of corn left. I'm not going to waste. So all of that's going to go in there. I'm going to stir this up. And you know, we started the seasoning. We did not add any salt. We put in a little bit of house seasoning. And you know, this is one of the few dishes that I can fix for the big guy that he doesn't complain if he sees it a second time. He's not a big fan of leftovers. So we're going to let this simmer. I'm going to let this chicken go. I'm going to find some tops for these containers, and we're going to have a good time. Now, you know, when you're working here in the kitchen, I thought about, you know, I got a tomato that needs to get sliced. I carried this tomato around. I won't tell you how much, but actually he held up pretty good. So I'm going to use one of my knives, and while I'm talking to you, we're going to slice up this tomato. I'm going to slice it right there, and I'm going to put you where you can see. There we go. Now, so while I'm working on this, I'm going to take the core out, and I think I better use this definitely today because I want it to have a good taste. When I first got it, it was hard, and it just wasn't ready. So I'm going to cut these into slices because we love tomatoes. So we're going to have some tomatoes. I may have to pull out an onion because he likes onions too. But you know, I made pasta salad the other night, as well as some deviled eggs. So I think I'm going to put these tomatoes right here, and I made Aaron McCargo's pasta salad, and it's good. It's really a good salad. The difference is it's not my family's salad. My family wants green peppers, red peppers, all those kind of things in their pasta salad. So I think I'm going to have to kick mine up just a little bit. So I'm going to put this right here for now. And I'm going to get a pepper, and we're going to add a little pepper to that salad. Okay, let me get a pepper out while our chicken's working. I'm going to put a little carrot in it too. Got some carrots, got some peppers, and we're just going to fix that salad up to the way we want it. Okay, so the tomatoes are there. I'm going to leave those there for now. Set them off to the side. I've got some shredded carrots. I'm going to take a pepper out. I think I'll go with the red one just because it has such pretty color. So I'm going to use the red one. I'm going to give it a good rinse, and we'll be ready to start cutting. All right. And over here we've got our pieces. I try to cut it so that most of its ribs and little veins are already off. That's a tip from Ming Tsai. That's what he does. He cuts them apart so that all the waste is pretty easy to remove. I'm going to turn our chicken down just a little bit. I want it to cook, but I don't want it to burn. So that's going. And I'm going to cut this pepper into strips. And if you remember that salad that we made on Saturday, it was called the Mega Egga pasta salad, or macaroni salad, because you do make it with elbow macaroni. And it's a high protein salad. And it's so funny because the big guy has really enjoyed eating it. And, you know, it keeps him from eating sweets because it has a protein. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We always want things around that if they're going to nibble, that they're nibbling on something that is good. All right, so I've got all of these together. I'm going to try to cut them in little dices, little fine dice. Oops, thought you could see. There we go. Now, so we're going to do that in fine dice. And I hope you can hear. Hope you're having a great day and enjoying today. It's a little chilly here, but you know what? It's warm in our hearts, so that's a good thing. We've had a lot going on and a lot we're still dealing with, so we need to keep things positive. And we want our kitchen to be the place where everybody wants to be. So whenever anything's rough, they can come to your kitchen and find joy and find a joyful moment. So there's our red pepper. And let me go get that bowl of sour. Now I held this much of the salad out. And I'm going to add all of this red pepper to it, because I want a little more color to it. I'm also going to kick it up by adding a little extra pickle relish, because you know I'm a pickle relish girl. So we're going to need to add that as well. So we've got our chicken going, and I'm going to give it another good press. And we're going to flip and flip and flip and flip until this baby's ready. Let's see how it's looking on this side. Well, it's looking pretty good. All right, well, it's time to turn it. There goes that label again. All right, so there we go. We're going to flip it over. Now, I'm going to leave it on this side for about 15 minutes. I'm not going to move it. 15 minutes, right there. All right, let's get the salad relish. And I think I'll pick it up with a little mustard. So I'm going to bring in some Dijon mustard. And we're going to finish off this container of pickle relish. Now, when I went to the grocery store, I did purchase more pickle relish, because when I made this initially, I did what the recipe said. I wanted to make sure that I was testing his recipe and using his recipe. But then, Leona's got to do her own thing. So we're going to take all of this relish out. That's what we got. I'm going to kick up, he didn't put any mustard in his. I put mustard in mine. So I'm going to get some out. I hope anyway. That's the plan. If he cooperates, it's coming. It's going to take a minute. There it is. take out about a tablespoon and a half of mustard that I'm going to add in. And I'm going to turn it over because I may put a little extra in, so I don't want to lose that I have already down at the bottom. Now, I'm going to get a little spoon, and we're going to stir that up. Okay. Woo. This is going to look so pretty with the peppers, some more relish. And you could even add, if you wanted to add ham, you could add ham into this. You know, you could just make it yours. It could even be a chicken macaroni salad. You know, however you like it. And if you're serving it as a main dish, you may certainly, even though it has a lot of eggs in it, you may certainly want to add, you know, a meat to it. You could even do shrimp and put in here. And it would be so good as a seafood salad. Now, that's looking much better, the way I like mine to look. Now, we're going to add a little carrot to it. And I cheated because I did not shred the carrots myself. Saved myself today. Okay, so we've got carrots. I'm going to give it some more of a turn. I don't want to stir it so much that we tear up the macaroni. I don't think it will because the macaroni is pretty cold. But we're going to get those carrots all through this salad. And it's going to be colorful. I'm going to put it into a dish so you can really see the color. And for those of you who are macaroni salad fans, this is the best salad for barbecue or potluck. It serves a ton. Now, you know, we only cooked a pound of macaroni. And this pound of macaroni made a lot of salad. And if you're gluten-free, get gluten-free pasta. That's much better. More of the flavor profile I like. Okay, guys. Now, I'm going to put this into a really nice bowl. Let me wash my hands. And I'm going to put it into one of my Mikasa bowls. Look at those colors. Here's some of our little eggs. If you want to chop yours up smaller, you can do that. I left them just a little chunky, so if somebody didn't like an egg, they could take it out. So getting those carrots dispersed. There we go. Oh yeah. Now we got a little more than probably should go into this container, but we're going to eat it for dinner. So I'm not worried about that. So there's our bowl. Oh, that looks so pretty. And you know, we Southern girls have to add what? We need some paprika. So let me pull the paprika out. Give it a little shake. Just not salad, macaroni salad or potato salad if you don't have a little paprika. Oh yeah, that's how our moms did it. Go to those church picnics, those salads were perfect, on point with the paprika. Let's see who I see. Aw, thank you. I'm glad you all are on. I thought I'd jump in and do a little cooking. How about that? I hope you all are okay with that. And we're enjoying the moment. Bring me into the kitchen. So, we've got our pasta salad. There we go. This is my version, not Erin's. And we do what we have to do. All right. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick it into the refrigerator so it can stay cold and clean up a little bit. And then we're going to look at this chicken and see. We might have to put it into the oven for just a few minutes for it to finish up its cooking. But like I said, we're not going to touch it for 15 minutes. And then we'll know the story for sure. So while we're doing that, we're cleaning up and just having a good time. So if you need to come in and out and whatever, however you need to do it, I'm good with that. And so I'm going to bring you in just a little bit closer. And let's get things into the refrigerator. So I'm going to do that and be right back. We got our food going. Our Lima beans are going, yay! And they are bubbling. Oh, they're getting nice and hot. That's what we want them to do. I'll give them a good stir. Let them continue to simmer. By the time the chicken's ready, the Lima beans are going to be ready. So I'm not really worried about them. But we do want to make sure that our chicken is perfect. We do not want a half-cooked chicken. That baby's got to be on point. So I'm bringing you over a little closer, and we can clean up while we're waiting for that chicken to get ready. Now, what are you all cooking tonight? I hope it's something good. And I better leave one of these knives out. Because we're going to need it when we start to take our chicken apart. You know, we talked today about that chicken. So this chicken actually is large enough for the big guy and I to have multiple meals. And so this week, I'm going to have to turn that chicken into something new. Tonight, it's kind of cast iron grilled, so to speak. And then probably I'll give it a couple of nights. So we'll say Thursday, I'll do something different with that chicken. I'll probably break it up and we may have chicken tacos. That sounds good. Since we're going to have turkey salad during the week, I'll probably do the tacos. And we've got plenty of pasta salad, so I probably won't have any pasta this week other than just the macaroni salad, because I think that's going to be enough pasta. You know, we were talking about trying to conserve ourselves today. Today's conversation at the lunch table was powerful. Hey, Denise. Yes, shredded carrots do freeze. They do freeze. I freeze them pretty often. And, you know, girls, to be honest with you, the big guy thinks if he stands still long enough, he'll be in the freezer as well. So I freeze everything. If it can go in a Ziploc bag, it's gone. And I try to use it quickly, though, because you know, you should not keep things in the freezer. They say 6 months, but I think 3 months is better in my case, in my perspective. 3 months. So I'm just going to clean these up. We're going to continue to talk. And the nice thing too about those carrots is the fact that you can chop your carrots, just cut them into little circles, or you can dice them, and you can put them into your freezer just like we do the onions or the celery, any of that. And they will last. They will hold up and will serve you well. I like being able to pull those carrots out rather than buying them in the freezer section. Why buy them there when you can do your own? So I'm going to stick this little chicken back into the freezer because that's where he needs to go. Okay, now so our chicken is moving right along, and he's looking pretty good. Let's see if I can bring you down a little closer. Get you down. You might not be able to see me, but you'll hear me. I'm usually pretty loud most of the time. So there we go. We got our chicken going. I need to put tops on those once they're cool. For our broth, can you see these Lima beans? They are just simmering away. That's what we want them to do. Get nice and tender and all that flavor go through it. Now I'm going to give it a little time because I want to check and see if I need to add a little more salt and maybe a little more pepper. But I don't think we're going to really need any more garlic or onion powder or any of that because, like I said, those onions were pretty strong. So our chicken is almost ready. It needs just a couple more minutes before I flip it. Oh yeah. You can hear that sizzle. Oh, this is going to be good. Now, so let's see, what are you all cooking tonight? Tell me. And those of you who are on, who I saw earlier, didn't you think we had a wonderful discussion today at lunchtime? Oh my gosh, I've never giggled so much. It was so much fun. But you know, the fun part is being able to go in, to find the research, to share that research with you, and to think about how we can make the best plan so that we can provide for our families. And that's what we've been trying to do. Blanch them. Okay, if you want to blanch them, yes, that's true. What camera am I using? Right now, I'm just using my phone, just so you know. I'm using my Samsung Galaxy 20, and hopefully it's doing a pretty good job with YouTube. It does fine as far as StreamYard is concerned. I'm not so sure about YouTube Live. So I have to wait until I see the playback, and then I can decide, okay, am I going to stay with this, or do I want to use just a regular camera to do this? But it was just quick to be able to put it up. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed lunchtime. You know, did Denise tell you we stayed on? You know what we do. After everybody's off, we get to talking and planning. And we stayed on probably, another almost 40 minutes. Chit-chatting. We went from one subject to another subject to another subject. And that's what we do. That's what we do. We have a good time with that. And it's always a lot of fun. It's a pleasure to be able to have a friend that you can talk to. And especially when it's a friend across the miles. You know, Denise, if you all haven't noticed, but Denise is into letter writing. And So I'm trying to think about that. How can we jump in on that letter writing and start to work that out? We really do need to get back to putting the pen to the paper. How do I adjust the focus? I don't. You're asking me? I don't know. I think I know at home. Oh. Okay, you all saw that? Okay, I played with that. You can adjust just by touching your screen. It will bring you in closer. And if you kind of close in with your fingers, it takes you farther away. There's also some other indications down here at the bottom that I haven't played with yet. So you all can let me know, kind of give me some suggestions as you watch. How about trying this? I saw a lady who does Facebook Live, and what she does, she actually turns her phone up vertical. But then when you play it on YouTube, you end up with this little thing like this, and she looks like she's all in one little rectangle. That I'm not so sure I like. I think I like being able to have more of a regular YouTube look. I like this suit. Let's see. It kind of fades in with the comments and comes back, so I'm not sure. Let me touch. Oh! Top chat, live chat, all message business. There we go. Now I can see you. Oh, okay. I see. All right. So we're in. So I'm getting all the chats in at this point. But anyway, so we're playing around. So I'm going to give this chicken a flip and try to play around here and get you at a good angle. There we go. At a better angle. Now, I'm going to try that what I tried before. Well, as you can see, it's not as easy to control as you try to refocus. Okay, we'll pull it there. And you can see our chicken. Okay, are you dizzy yet? So, I'm playing around with that. All right, so I'm going to take this, and it is ready to come up off the bottom, because it does stick just a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to give all of this a good flip. And try to get this little leg out of here. He wants to give me a hard time. All right, he's out. Now, so I'm going to get all of that, and we're going to put this down for 15 minutes. Now that has to stay. Now our vegetables are cooking right along, so that's a good thing. And trying to narrow that down. There we go. Maybe, I'm not sure how to bring you back easily without having to make you dizzy. I don't want you to be dizzy. Okay. This is a learning curve, guys, and I appreciate your patience in allowing me to figure out the learning curve, because it is definitely that. All right, so our chicken's going. Like I said, I may have to put it in for just a matter of a few minutes. Okay, now. Oh, ham to baked beans. Yummy, yummy. I like that. Let's see if I can get us in so I can see better. I don't know how. I got you big, now I can't get you small. Get me small. Okay. This really isn't a learning curve. So, we're a little larger than I had planned. Hadn't planned to be quite this up close and personal, but that's okay. Oh, yummy. And fixing a salad. Oh, Louise, that sounds delicious. Okay, so the sound is good. That's good. Can you hear the sizzle of the chicken on the stove? I hope so. And like I said, I've got lots of things going here. We've got our tomatoes cut up. They're ready for our plates when it's time to plate it all up. And we'll plate it up in just a little while when it's all done. And you can hear it sizzling. Great, Ronnie. That's wonderful. So that makes me happy. Probably the next time I try this, I may do it on StreamYard just because it might be a little easier. The video quality and sound is great. Remember we talked about that fancy. I am not a fancy. Well, not for cameras anyway. And you can hear the sizzle. Great. So we're just enjoying this time together. You're cooking your dinner, probably getting ready with your dinner. I'm getting dinner together here, and that's where it's fun. I mean, how often do you get to cook together, and we're all in the kitchen and preparing a meal? That is just a lot of fun. And you know, when just before Denise and I were about to hang up, she said, "You're going to cook today?" And I said, "Yeah, today." And I'm going to do it. She said, "Well, what time?" And I said, "Oh, let me think about that. I'm not so sure." So I had to make sure I had everything in place. I pretty much had things started, but just hadn't decided exactly where I was going to locate everything, how I was going to work with the camera. So I had to kind of play around with that before I could commit to a time. And but this is my usual cooking time for dinner. I usually try to serve dinner between 5 and 5:30. That's a good time for us. Gives all your food a chance to go through your body and clear before you lay down at night. We do not want to go to bed with tummies that are so heavy that you feel miserable. So we're trying to make sure that we're cooking a good meal right here. So let me bring you back to our little spot and let you see what's going on with that chicken. Oh yeah, get you right back there. And you can see he is really just bubbling away here. So I am going to, just because I want to be able to check and make sure he's good and done, I'm going to take this knife and just, oh, he's cutting easily. That's a good sign. And I'm kind of breaking that breastbone in between. Oh yeah, good. That's going to look good. So you always want to check to make sure that your chicken is nice and done. You do not want to serve chicken that has any pink. So, you know, we have to check for those things. So, like I said, it's going to take another 15 minutes to finish up. There's a little bit at the bone that still needs to finish up. I'm going to check this leg. I could certainly use my thermometer. And in fact, I have a new toy that I haven't played with yet. This is my thermometer I got from Amazon. And you know, I have not played with it. This is, let's see what he does. Oh, put him in right about there. Okay, it's still got about 20 more degrees to go before it's totally done. That's on that side. Let me check this side. I'm checking the breast first. That's got about 20. This leg, I'm pretty sure it's not quite ready. Actually, it's in better shape than the breast. The breast is a little thicker, but the thigh portion needs to cook a little while. So I'm just checking the temperature. Now this one, the thigh is doing pretty good. You know, it's funny from one side of the skillet to another. So they're all at about 130 degrees. So it's going to need to cook a little while longer. But I think at the end of that 15 minutes, it's going to be good to go. So I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. And I didn't want to add any water because I think it has enough juice down there to do what it needs to do. But you know, the big guy likes gravy. So I may add, since I've got it here, I've got just a little bit of broth. I'm going to add just a little smidget so I can start to think about some gravy for him. I'm going to let that all get good and hot. Let that mix around with the chicken and let that finish up. All right. Well, let's see. Louise was cooking ham and beans, and ham with some baked beans, which sounded delicious. And that thermometer, I tell you what, and was so reasonable. I'm trying to think. I think I might have it already on my Amazon page. Now, guys, don't ask me why this picture is so, oh, there we go. We got it back. Okay, I'm not sure why I'm not sure if I have the thermometer out there on Amazon listed, but I tell you, it was less than $15, and it does a good job. It even came with a little hanger to put it inside your cabinet so you could always keep up with it. And it's quick. It took 2 of those little flat silver batteries, and it actually came with the first 2. And then beyond that, you just keep a couple of batteries. So this is just bubbling away. I love it. Our limas are looking good. I'm going to give them a good stir. They smell divine. Now I'm going to have to give these a taste because we haven't tasted them to see if I need some additional spice. I think it's going to pick up a lot of its flavor just from the ham. Definitely does not need any pepper. And for me, it doesn't need any more salt. So I'm good. It's got pretty much everything it needs. I'm going to turn this that way and just let it continue to cook down. The chicken is getting nice and bubbly. I'm going to get a little bit of flour so that when I am ready in just a little while, I'm going to add a little flour mixture to this, and we're going to make a little gravy. Now I'm going to play with this leg because I want him to get good and done. I'm actually going to take him apart and flip him over because I think that side needs a little extra cook time. Okay, that's good to go. Let me get the gravy started, and we're going to have some good eating in this kitchen today. Notice, protein, we got our veggies, we got a little bit of salad, and we got a leftover tomato. Good dinner. Hold on. Now we have some gluten-free viewers, and I use whatever kind of flour I have. If I have gluten-free flour, I use it to make my gravy also. So so it won't change. I got about a tablespoon of flour that I am just kind of mixing up here, get it into the fat so that I can make sure that it stays nice and smooth. And looking at the amount of liquid, I'm going to need to add a little liquid so that this gravy can come together. We probably will need just a tad more seasoning. Because we want it to taste good. And see what else we need. Juice. You know, this turkey broth came in handy. All right. Now I'm going to take my spoon and just keep stirring so that all of this will smooth out. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. There it is. Now, so we've got just a little bit of gravy. That's all you need, just a little. Let's see if I can get my my skillet got a little hot, so I've got to use my mitt. We have to stay safe, girls. Okay, now I'm going to play around and kind of tilt this skillet so that the thickening will move around. So I'm going to slide this chicken around the pan and let that mixture come together. And that's going to make a real good pan gravy in the bottom. Enough so that the big guy will have enough for his gravy, or what he likes. And if you want to put a little bit on the, because you know sometimes the breast can be just a little dry. I don't think it will be today because we didn't cook it long enough to do that. As long as you keep that temperature between 165, 170, then your breast should be in pretty good shape. So I am just spooning this gravy over. Oh yeah. And we're doing all of this on the stove top. I didn't have to turn on the oven. I thought I might, but I didn't want to really, because you know that kind of warms up the house. So I didn't need a hot house. There we go. Oh yeah. I'm going to add just a tad bit more liquid because this is going to need to simmer just a little while. There you go. If you want to add a touch of Worcestershire sauce, I know that's a mouthful, but you can certainly do that. I can turn this off. Our limas and corn, that's ready. Woo-hoo! This is going to be delicious. There we go. Like I said, I think we'll put a dash of Worcestershire in there and close our flour up. Now notice, 1 tablespoon of flour. That was it. One dash, or 2, or 3 of Worcestershire. There we go. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And plus, adding the Worcestershire just makes your gravy a little more golden, and it looks so pretty. You could serve this if you wanted for your family. You could serve it over rice, over mashed potatoes. The list is endless. There we go. And I think we're going to make it in the time I thought we had planned. Or I had planned anyway. We're going to be able to finish it up. We've got our salad. We've got our chicken. Let me check our temperatures. See how we're doing. Okay, let me check our breast. All right, we're right at 160 on that side. Okay, almost there. Okay, that's got a little time. It needs to bubble a little more. And let's see how he's doing. Oh, he's ready. Isn't that funny how one side of the skillet cooks better than the other? That's probably how I have it seated. Let me get my glove and turn this around. Okay, I can either turn the whole thing around or just turn the chicken around and let it scoot around in the skillet. Oh yeah, that sizzle is so good. So everything's simmering in our gravy. Our inside of our breast looks good. No pink. That's good. If you wanted to flip it, you could certainly do that. Do that, and this side is going to simmer just a little bit. This side is going to, I'm going to flip him over too. Give him about 5 more minutes on the other side so it can be down in that gravy. It's going to be nice and moist. I'll let little Lima Bean get over here in our chicken gravy. He was jealous. Gravy tastes good. Okay. Time to start pulling out the ice. And I'm going to start to put those together. I'm going to get a few things put away. Put the paprika up. And you know, my spice cabinet is the only cabinet other than I left 2 plates, two bowls, 2 saucers in this one cabinet. You know, everything else is out. So I'm going to put these peppers away. I've already got the carrots put away. And we're going to be ready to make our plates very, very soon. In just a matter of minutes. Bringing our salad out, and let me take you over. I think I can get you here. You can see our I've got several dishes here. This is Malacasa quiche dish that I haven't used it yet, but you know what? I might even fix a quiche with that chicken that's left over. I have to think about that. See what I can come up with. I think some type of spinach quiche. would be delicious. All right, we've got our pasta salad out. We have our sliced tomatoes out. You know, all of that's going to be ready. Got our plates. Got our napkins. We're going to need those. We need our forks. And definitely some knives. So we've got silverware ready to go. And our napkins. So the only thing we're waiting on now is just the last few minutes of that chicken in the gravy. Woo! That'll be good. Good stuff. See if I can get you at a better angle. Okay, there we go. And I'll bring you up. Okay. Okay, still no head. No head. Trying to get myself in, but he's not being cooperative, is he? See if I get you up high enough. Okay, I think that might work. Maybe. And if not, I'm going to have to lean in. Darn! What is it? Okay, that should do it. Ta-da! Okay, got it all back. This is one of the setups that I used to have quite a while ago. Now, you know what? The chicken is almost ready. I'm going to go ahead and fix myself a plate. I'm not going to let the big guy fix his own, but I'm going to get mine going here so that you can see how good this is going to be. Let me get a little scoop. There we go. I'm going to pull up some of the Okay, I've got my Lima Beans ready to go. And I am going to have, I think I'm going to have a chicken leg. And this one looks just right. It has my name on it. And the gravy's going well, so I can turn all that down. Everything is ready. And in fact, that side is just, the gravy looks great. So, I got a spoon for that. I'm going to put a little spoonful of gravy over my chicken. I'm going to come back over here. We've got, I'm going to cover his plate. We've got tomatoes. I love my tomatoes. And on top of my tomato, I'm going to place my macaroni salad. So let me get a pretty large, this one will go in. I'm going to scoop out our pasta salad. It's going to be right there. There you go. What a pretty plate that's going to be. Oh, guys. Let me come around so you can see. Dinner is served. Everything's hot and steamy. I hope you've enjoyed. Oh, I'm glad to know that. Oh, that's good. You can hear me at a distance. Oh, that's great. Oh, I'm so glad. It looks good. Looks good. All right. So let me taste and see what we did, if what we did to kick up that pasta salad, if it tastes like what I want it to taste like. Move over, Aaron McCarron. My pasta salad is pretty good, but you know, everybody's got to do their own thing when it comes to cooking. His family likes it the way he does it. And my family likes it this way. Mmm. Oh, that's good. Let's try out those Lima beans. I know they're nice and tender. And they smell wonderful. Smell of that ham has gone through it. Mmm. The limas melt in your mouth. Mmm. Oh, that's good. Let me see if I don't know if I can work with this chicken in the air or not. So, let me come over here rather than end up with a plate in the floor. So, let's see if our chicken is the way I want. It's nice and done. It's tender. It's moist. It is raining like crazy. You can probably hear the rain outside. Oh my gosh. It is so good. Now guys, you know, I'm not going to be able to get away with this. The big guy's stomach, I know, is just about growling at this point because he's been able to smell all of this while we've been having fun. And, you know, he's so gracious to let me have fun right here in this kitchen. And I appreciate that. But I think I better go feed him and give him something to eat. So, love, love, to all of my followers and hopefully new subbies that may be out there. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and come back to Ebony Ivy Thyme because we're here and we are building strong families one meal at a time. Have a fantastic evening and a great dinner time. I'll see you soon.